Hey, everybody. Welcome in. My name is Vince Stavrowski. I'm going to be your sales engineer today, taking you through our platform demonstration focused on listings management for Linnworks. I'm going to give another 30, 45 seconds just for some folks to trickle in here, giving them ample time to get logged in and all that. But happy Friday, everyone. I'm here in Austin, Texas, so just beginning my Friday here this morning. Hope you're enjoying yours. Today, we're going to spend some time kind of touring the platform, really focused on how to create and manage listings in Linnworks. There's a few things that I want to make sure that everybody's aware of and kind of the broad general workflow for creating and managing listings in Linnworks. Linnworks is primarily an IMS, OMS, WMS platform, but of course, we do support listings management. That's an add-on feature when you come to the Linnworks environment. And we do list to many different marketplaces out there as well. So we'll kind of cover some of that today. Hopefully, if you are curious about how listings works in Linnworks, you'll have a really good idea of what that looks like after today's presentation. Um, so with that, I think we're pretty good to get started. I think we've got enough people joined into the meeting, so let's get after it. Again, my name is Vince. If you have any questions for me during the presentation, please utilize the chat features that are available to you in the meeting. I do have a support team behind me that's going to be monitoring those and feeding me those questions as well. So love to see that engagement there. All right, guys. So what we're going to cover today, got three specific kind of broad topics that we'll be covering while I go through the actual product itself. First of all, streamlining product management for multi-channel listing. That's why we're all here today. That's kind of the big subject that we're going to cover. Really, Linnworks gives you the opportunity to aggregate and store all of your product data, all your catalog information, and then use our very detailed, very marketplace specific listing template capabilities to take that product data that you're storing in Linnworks, format it correctly for the marketplace that you're wanting to list to, and then actually create and publish those listings onto that marketplace. So, big topic number one there. We're going to spend a lot of time on that as well. Number two, eliminate repetitive tasks and costly listing mistakes. Absolutely true, as well as you are able to build very, very specific listing templates in Linnworks that you can test and that you can rely on to accurately and very securely push those listings up to those different marketplaces. And then topic number three down there, stop overselling with smart powerful automation of workflows. And really, what that's referring to is our inventory synchronization capability keeps your marketplaces and your listings aware of the inventory that you actually have available to fulfill. And that's a great method to prevent overselling by keeping that inventory synchronized in a very accurate and up-to-date way, and just making sure that you're taking orders for products that you actually can fulfill in that regard. And so we'll talk a little bit about the details there as well. And then at the end of the presentation, I do have a section for Q&A. So again, if you do have questions throughout the presentation, stuff that you want to ask me, please do feel free to put those into the chat capabilities here in Zoom. And again, my team will feed those to me. What I'm going to do right now is switch over to the Linnworks platform so you guys can get a good view of what we're looking at here. Channel integration screen is where we're going to start. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is give you a relatively straightforward overview of the Linnworks platform, but we're going to focus on listings specifically. I'm going to walk you through some of the processes around that. If you've attended other Linnworks webinars, you've probably heard me say like, hey, and come back and visit us again for a deep dive into listings or a deep dive into order management, whatever that might be. This is the deep dive into listings. That's what we're going to do here today. So um, let's start in the channel integration screen. As we often do in Linnworks demonstrations, I do want to start here because it's important to know how you connect your Linnworks account, your Linnworks platform to the various marketplaces that you intend to be listing on. Now, Linnworks can connect to a huge variety of different marketplaces. I think I've got over 100 in my list here right now. Yeah, there's over 100 marketplaces in my list here now. And then through partners, like Miracle, for example, we can connect to an additional, several hundred additional marketplaces out there. So several hundred marketplaces that you have access to through Linnworks and our partners there. And you'll see all of those channels listed here. You can always come up to the search box and search for a specific partner that you're looking for, or a specific marketplace that you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for Walmart or Shopify, like I've shown you here. Very easy to find those. And then when you do want to commit and go ahead and integrate with those marketplaces, you'll simply click that integrate button, and that will launch a marketplace specific connection wizard that will take you through the specific steps to connect Linnworks to that particular marketplace. Now, some important call outs here. Linnworks has the ability to list to a large number of marketplaces, but not all of them, right? So there are some marketplaces out there that Linnworks does not list to, right? WooCommerce being one of them, just to call that out very quickly there. But Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Walmart, we do provide listings to. So if you're curious, if you want to get some more information about, hey, does Linnworks support listings to my specific marketplace? Hey, give us a shout, shoot us an email, ask us that question. Or also that information is available in our documentation as well. That's public facing. So you guys can get access to that, read those articles and decide, hey, is it worth it to jump into Linnworks and start listing on these marketplaces that we're connected to? So would love to talk to you specifically about that. If you're interested in finding out some more information, as always, guys, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you some contact information to be able to reach out to Linnworks. I'd love to learn more about your organization specifically and give you all a bespoke product walkthrough within the Linnworks platform as well. Really kind of showing you guys what Linnworks can do for your organization specifically. So in any case, please reach out to me, let me know, and let's have a discussion about that. But again, adding those channels, adding those marketplaces within the Linnworks platform, really easy to do, very intuitive process there. Now, once you get connected, you will go through an inventory mapping process, right? So you've got inventory on your marketplace and you've got inventory in your Linnworks system, right? I'll talk about how to get that inventory loaded into the Linnworks platform here in just a little bit. But at some point after you get connected to that channel, you've got to match those inventory items on your channel to the inventory items in your Linnworks platform. And that's always done through the inventory mapping capability here as well. So in this case, we would see the inventory items that we have on our website out there or our marketplace out there, and we've got the inventory items held in Linnworks, and we can say, hey, what I need to do is link all of these, and I can do it all at once by SKU if the SKUs match. If the SKUs don't match, that's okay. We've got something called a channel SKU, which will take an external channel specific SKU and match that to your internal Linnworks SKU, whatever that might be. So worry not, even if your SKUs don't match across all your channels, that's okay. We've got a solution for you there. If they do match across all your channels, that makes it super easy. It's almost nearly automatic getting everything matched up and linked up there for you. But that's what that process looks like there. There's a couple different ways to think about listings in Linnworks. I'm going to go up to the top of navigation here on the left-hand side. I'm going to jump into my inventory dashboard, and look at that. We're already on the listings view there. Before we get too deep down that listings view and the listings capability, I do want to give just a really brief overview of the general Linnworks UI, so you guys kind of have some context as to what you're looking at and where we are. Pardon me while I sip my coffee here. It is still a little bit early here in Austin. So here's the general layout of the My Inventory dashboard in Linnworks. You can see your SKU items on the left-hand side down here, and I've got my availability here. This is my product availability. This column is relatively important because it is derived from your physical stock level of those individual inventory items minus what is already allocated to open orders but not yet fulfilled, and that leaves you with your available to sell inventory. And this is the column that we transmit to all of your different marketplaces and channels to inform them of your current product availability. Now, what's nice about that is continuously happening in the background behind the scenes. It's an automated process. Depending on the marketplace or the channel, it's going to fire off in a very high frequency, 5, 10, 15 minutes. Really just kind of depends on that channel's integration specifications. But we do send that inventory data to your channels at a very high rate of frequency. And that is what is controlling your inventory and preventing overselling, generally speaking. So when you have a product that sells out of stock and inventory goes down to zero, that data is transmitted to that marketplace, and that marketplace is made aware of that inventory item is out of stock, right? Now, whether or not you allow orders for out of stock items to come into your system, that's entirely up to you. That's a configuration. But if you don't want to, you want to prevent overselling, you don't want to take back orders, you can easily execute that in Linnworks and kind of put that process out of sight, out of mind for you as that becomes kind of an automated workflow. All right. So inventory control is very important, obviously, to our customers, and it's something that we take very seriously and we focus on very hard within the Linnworks environment. Now, talking about listings specifically, to be able to create listings on various marketplaces, you have to have data available to do that, right? You have to have your sizes and colors and attributes and quantities and maybe some images for those products. You need to have descriptions, titles, prices. There's all these different attributes of a given product that you need to have available to right to those listings on those different marketplaces and channels. On top of that, each marketplace and channel is going to be a little bit different as far as what data they need in order to create a listing, right? You can imagine that eBay and Amazon and Walmart and Shopify, you want to list a t-shirt on all of those different marketplaces. Well, the requirements for listing that t-shirt, although similar, will likely be different across Amazon, eBay, Walmart, and Shopify, right? Shopify is your own website. You can probably make that look like whatever you want to, so the requirements can be whatever you want them to be. But Amazon, eBay, and Walmart are going to have specific requirements to be able to list to those marketplaces, and you must conform to them. Otherwise, you won't be able to list, or you'll get in trouble, and they may, penalize you for trying to list improperly on those marketplaces. Either way, something you want to avoid. You don't want to get into that. So you want to make sure that you are providing the correct information, the accurate information that those marketplaces are looking for. Now, the way that we do that, utilizing the Linnworks platform, is by storing all of that catalog data within our platform and then giving you the ability to create very specific marketplace, category specific templates within the Linnworks platform, and then use those templates that are specific to that marketplace, to that category on that marketplace, to send those listings, to send that listing data to that marketplace and create those listings in the format with the attributes that that marketplace requires. That's exactly kind of broad perspective. That's what we're looking at here. So in this case, this view shows us all of our inventory items, how much inventory we have. We are continuously syncing that with those marketplaces because we've already gone through that SKU matching process there. So we've got SKUs on the marketplace. We've got SKUs in Linnworks. Those are matched. We're transmitting inventory already. So that's kind of setting the stage for where we're at. Now, if we want to just map the existing listings that we have on those marketplaces, map those to our SKUs in Linnworks and just send inventory information, update prices, and download orders, we're done. That's all we want to do. We've already done that. That's happening now within the platform. We don't have to do anything else, right? So we've matched those SKUs. We've told Linnworks what those SKUs are on our marketplace. It knows what it is inside the platform. It's downloading orders. It's deducting inventory. It's updating that inventory. It's updating prices. We're good to go, right? That's what it means to map listings in Linnworks. So we talk about, hey, we just want to map your product. We want to map your listings. That is, we're just taking the data that's already out there and we're saying, yep, we're connected to that and we're done, right? That is a way of completing that cycle and connecting those products and downloading those orders. That's not necessarily creating the listings out there. So that's a different process in Linnworks. If you actually want to publish those listings and create those listings yourself using the Linnworks platform, that's our create listings methodology. It's different than the mapping listings methodology, right? I don't know that I've talked about this in these terms on previous webinars, but I think it's important. It's something that I think I missed before that I think is important to you all, is understanding that you can map your products to existing listings out there, or you can create new listings using Linnworks. We support both methodologies, and I'm going to focus on the latter today, that is creating those listings today. So if you have any questions on that or you need some clarification on that, again, please reach out to me and let me know. Let's have that conversation. So let's kind of get into that. Let's jump into a single SKU item here. We're going to take a quick look at the product details for this Tommy Hilfiger Black XL t-shirt. And then we'll go create some listings for a handful of products that are similar as well at the same time. So I'll show you what that process looks like. But here in product details, we're looking at the general attributes of this product. That is item number, item title, barcode, so on and so forth. You see these different attributes down here. And this is kind of the default page, right? If we don't put anything else as far as like costs, like vendor specific costs in here, or we don't send a specific retail price to a specific channel, these are the values the system's going to use unless we override those. We do have the ability to scan a serial number when we're processing orders. So Linnworks does not necessarily hold serial numbers in inventory, but when you process an order and you want to associate a serial number with a specific order, a specific invoice, so that you can manage returns, exchanges, refunds, or warranty services, you could attach a serial number to that specific order as it's being processed, and that becomes a part of that order's permanent record within your system as well. So when that RMA comes back in, you do have a place to validate that serial number on that particular item. This is really important for those like refurbished electronics or sending out new high-end consumer electronics is a huge market where we see a lot of that serial number request. And so we do have that capability. I want to call that out there for sure. We also support batches and a first in, first out style of selling. I know that's not specifically related to listings, but it's something that comes up a lot within my customers. I want to call that out to say we can either give batches of items a specific sell by or expiration date, or we can simply set up a priority sequence to sell your items first in, first out, or FIFO methodology there. So those are capabilities that Linnworks has that are not necessarily commonly known out there. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of those capabilities there. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about capturing images for your product. So Linnworks has the ability to hold up to 12 different images in platform. These are high resolution images for your product. So most of the listings that I see out there, I don't know if you've experienced this as well, but about 4, 5, 6 different pictures, and that's perfectly fine. That's typically all I need, but we can hold up to 12. So quite a large number of images that we can hold in the platform. And then you as a seller, you get to determine where those images get pushed to. So if you have specific images that you want to use on Amazon, maybe those images conform to Amazon's image standards, but you have different images that you want to use on your Shopify site, maybe a little bit more descriptive, a bit more action-oriented, or whatever the case may be for those images that you want to use on your Shopify site. You can choose, hey, I want these images to go here and these images to go here. And that gives you a lot of flexibility in how you want to publish your listings. So that is absolutely something you can do in Linnworks. Next up, I want to talk about postage definition. Here we are recording the weight and dimensions of a given SKU item. This really helps our OMS determine, hey, what shipping service are we going to use? What size box are we going to put this order in? How do we want to group this shipment, or if it's multi-line shipment? So having that weight and dimensions are really important there. And the postage definition here, talking about default postal service that we're going to use for a given shirt or a given SKU item. So we know, hey, if a single line item order comes in for this particular SKU, what's the default way that we send that? Well, we put it in a polythene bag, and when we use our default postal service, whatever that might be. I'm going to change that to Royal Mail First Class because that's a cooler option in this demonstration. So you can see we have the ability to kind of set up some default actions for these items in this SKUs product details section that we've got pulled up here. Next up is the listing descriptions tab. This is really cool because in this listing descriptions tab for this particular SKU item, we can establish different price points for different marketplaces. Here, Amazon UK, I'm selling this for $29.99. Amazon US, I'm selling for $39.50. And then eBay in different regions, I've got different prices associated with that. Now, this table will update the pricing information for this SKU item. When I update this table, the price for this SKU item will be updated across all of these different marketplaces. So you have the ability to commit bulk price information updates within your Linnworks system, and then Linnworks takes care of updating those prices across all of your different channels that this particular item is listed on. So becomes somewhat of an automated process, a little bit easier to get that new price or price update distributed to all your marketplaces and channels. You just feed that data to Linnworks, and Linnworks takes care of distributing that price information out to all your channels. That's also true for your titles. So you may have a very specific title that you're using on Amazon that you may want to change that up for your Shopify site, right? You might want to use a different title there. Or in my case here, I've got eBay stores in different regions with different languages. So I'm using different titles for those different regions of my eBay store. And again, I can manage that all in Linnworks, and Linnworks takes care of pushing that data out to those various channels for me. That's also true for your descriptions. I don't want to leave that out, but your descriptions can be varied just like your titles and just like your prices, depending on which marketplace you're listing to. So that's a very powerful tool, very powerful feature there that makes those bulk updates across many different SKUs, across many different channels quite easy when you're utilizing the Linnworks platform. The channel SKU tab here allows you to match a channel specific SKU up to your internal Linnworks SKU. So whatever you might call a given item inside your operations, inside Linnworks, you can call it something else on specific channels out there. And all those channel specific SKUs link back to your internal SKU. So when you're receiving orders or information updates on those particular items, Linnworks knows, actually they're talking about the Tommy Hilfiger Black XL t-shirt here in this case. Not necessarily related to listings, but we do hold supplier information as well. So if you are interested in setting up supply chain management within Linnworks, we would like to understand the lead time of those suppliers and then the purchase price, currency, MOQ, and pack size. That's all really helpful in demand planning and purchase order generation, as well as receiving against those POs. I'm not going to dive real deep on that today. We're going to stay focused on listings, but Linnworks does have that capability. If you're interested in that, please go take a look at one of my OMS specific webinars, or maybe my inventory management specific webinars. We'll talk more about demand planning and forecasting there as well. Alternatively, if that's something you're interested in, give me a shout. Let me know, because I'd like to sit down with you for a little bit and talk about that specific to your operations and see how we can help you there. Extended properties, however, are critical to listings management. Extended properties are essentially where you're going to store all of the various hundreds of different attributes that you might need in order to list a given product across many different marketplaces and channels. So for example, we've got the Tommy Hilfiger Black XL t-shirt here, but I listed across Amazon, I listed on Shopify, and I listed on eBay, and maybe a few other marketplaces. And because I do that, and not only do I do that, but I do that in a couple different languages as well, I've got a ton of different attributes that I need to have available for this t-shirt to be able to list it across all those different marketplaces and some different languages as well. So this table, the extended properties table, is where I store all of that information. Now, I've got a bunch of different attributes here, probably a couple hundred if I'm being honest here. And managing these outside of Linnworks, trying to keep track of all of the different attributes that I would need across many different channels, and in my case, in 4 different languages on eBay. If I'm just trying to manage that by hand or manage that in spreadsheets and keep track of that myself, that's a full-time position that I'm probably paying for, maybe more than one, honestly. That's a nightmare of a task to try to manage on my own in a spreadsheet. Linnworks is a great resolution to that because it gives you a centralized catalog location to store all of that information. It gives you templates to know which of those information pieces needs to be given to specific marketplaces and channels. And then it gives you the ability to push those listings up and edit those listings all in one platform, all in one spot. And it does a very good job of keeping that organized for you as well. So if you find yourself struggling with kind of a data overload for all the attributes you need to control for a given product across multiple channels, Linnworks is a good response to that. Linnworks is a good tool to utilize to help keep that organized, keep your hair from being on fire, keep you sane, and help you keep track of those attributes and knowing which of your products need to be listed, which need to be updated, and making sure that that information is accurate for that particular marketplace. There's some other tips and tricks in here as well. You have the ability to store OMS related data in the extended properties table as well. And what I mean by OMS related data is data about a given product that might change how that product is going to be fulfilled, because our OMS system that's built into Linnworks can read this table as well. So you might want to tell your customers, hey, this is a bullet point 5 featuring gray heather design. This tee comes in short sleeves. That's great. But my OMS might want to know that this t-shirt is made of hazardous material or flammable, or it's extremely heavy, or it might contain a lithium ion battery, right? Those are all things, those are all attributes about this product that could impact how this product is being fulfilled, right? If it's super heavy, we might choose a different carrier. If it's hazardous material, we might have some additional paperwork we need to submit with that order, right? With that shipment. If it contains a lithium ion battery, maybe I can't use air service, right? So there are aspects of a given product that could influence how that product is going to be fulfilled. We want you to store that data in the extended properties table as well, because our OMS system can be made to look at that data and then make automated decisions on how that order is going to be fulfilled based on that data that you're putting in here. So the extended properties table, not just listing data, but also fulfillment information can be stored here as well. That's super, super important. But primarily today, we're going to be talking about listing data held in the extended properties table. I hope that wasn't too confusing. I know it's kind of a couple of different topics that we're talking about there at the same time. But essentially, this is where you're going to hold the primary bulk of your product information for listings purposes. Now, what's nice about all of this is you do not have to add these one by one individually, right? You have the ability to upload product information in bulk for many different SKUs at the same time on a CSV import process, right? I'm going to jump out of here. I'm going to jump back into settings real quick and take a look at our import data process, because this is important. This is where you can bring data into the platform. So we can call this an inventory import. I'm going to select a file from my computer here. I'm probably just going to grab some random master SKU file here. Cool. So here is a file that I've selected that has a ton of SKU information in my file, and I'm going to map that to specific fields within Linnworks. So now what I'm doing is I'm bringing in a bulk import of a ton of different SKUs and all of their product information that I'm going to use for listings. Maybe I sourced this from the web. Maybe I sourced it from my suppliers. Maybe I've created some of this information myself, but I need to bring that into the Linnworks platform in bulk. And that's exactly what I'm doing here in this view. Is I would run this import, bring in a massive data file with tons of information that I've spent some time mapping here. And that's a very quick way, an easy way to bring in all of this product information that I would need for listings for a ton of different SKUs all at the same time. So that's an area where we can increase the efficiency at which you're taking product data that you're aggregating outside of the system and bring that into the Linnworks platform quickly and in an organized way to be able to set the stage for pushing those listings to those different marketplaces, right? So again, we'll get kind of into that here in just a little bit. I think what I want to tell you guys about now is variations and composite SKUs. So I know many of you out there will need to be able to list products that have different sizes and colors, right? That's a variation. Lots of other things that you might have variations on other than size and color, but I do want to let you know we support that capability. Here's an example. On screen, you can see I've got a bunch of Tommy Hilfiger shirts in different sizes and different colors here. But if I wanted to create a single listing that contained drop downs for all the different colors and all the different sizes of this t-shirt that I list, I might want to do that all together. And so that's what I'm showing here is this Tommy Hilfiger t-shirts variation parent holds all of the child variations of different sizes and different colors of this style of shirt. Now, what you might notice is some of these up here are the same as down here. So here's that Tommy Hilfiger gray large shirt. And we see that same shirt down here. Notice the available inventory is 112, and we see down here that Tommy Hilfiger gray large inventory is 112. That's the same SKU item. It's the exact same record in Linnworks. It's just available by itself. I could list that gray large Hilfiger t-shirt by itself, or I could list it as a member of this variation parent here as well at the same time. Same SKU, same data. We're never going to duplicate those SKUs. You're never going to have multiple streams of inventory. Linnworks knows how to handle that at the same time. Okay, so variations are no issue for Linnworks. We love it. We like to push those types of listings. It makes it easy for your customer to make the selections that they want to on their marketplace that they're purchasing on. And it makes it easy for you to kind of automate those processes and understand what those orders are that those customers are submitting to you. The other aspect I wanted to show you was a composite SKU. A composite SKU is essentially a kit or a bundle SKU. It is a virtual SKU, meaning it's a SKU that doesn't actually exist in our warehouse. It is a virtual SKU that is composed of real SKU items that you're selling together in a bulk package, right? In this case, we're selling Patagonia t-shirts. I'm selling them in a 3-pack. I don't actually inventory a 3-pack of t-shirts here. I actually inventory the components of this virtual SKU. So I've got a Patagonia medium composite. It contains 1 gravel t-shirt, 1 teal t-shirt, and 1 peach t-shirt. That's quantity 1 each of these items composes this composite SKU. The availability of this composite SKU is going to be based on the lowest quantity available of its component parts. So if I had 100 units of the gray t-shirt, I had 100 units of the teal t-shirt, but I only had 3 units left of the peach t-shirt, the availability of this composite SKU would be 3, because that's the maximum number I could produce out of the component parts that I have here. You could also set individual pricing for this virtual SKU. So if you want to sell this SKU at a discounted price because your customers are buying 3 at a time with this bulk or bundle, you can certainly have that SKU have its own individual price point, and your customers can get a discount for buying that composite SKU rather than 3 individual t-shirts. So wanted to call out that we have the ability to list variations. We have the ability to list bundles and kits. We have the ability to list individual SKUs as well. So really we want to conform that to your specific listing operations, how you guys want to operate your inventory, how you want to present that inventory. We're going to match that for you. All right. So with all of that out of the way, we've got our inventory loaded into the system. We have our SKUs matched to any existing listings we have on that marketplace. We've got our inventory loaded. We've got our product information loaded. Now we are ready to start creating new listings in Linnworks. Now I want to create listings for products that are not yet on my website. I've brought that product information into Linnworks. Now we're ready to actually create those listings. In this example, we are going to list a handful of t-shirts here. So I've got all these different colors of Tommy Hilfiger t-shirts. I've decided on my website, I want to list them individually. I don't want to list them as a variation. Although I could, there's my variation parent right there. I could list that. Just for this exercise, I want to show you guys what it looks like to list a handful of different SKUs all at once to a marketplace. In this example, I'm gonna try to list these to eBay. And you'll notice up at the top, I've created a view called listings here. And in this listings view, I've made it very simple. I've just got the SKU, the title, the availability of those items, and then I've brought in the channels as column headers here. And within those columns, I can see the current listing status of each of these SKU items, which is currently nothing. Nothing is listed. They're showing as not listed currently, and that's exactly what we expect to see here. You'll notice I've got other views, right? I've got view for forecasting. I've got a brand specific view for Patagonia here. These are all highly customizable. Again, we can get more into the UI of the platform, talking about being able to create custom views of your inventory. We'll save that for another day though, because I want to stay focused on listings here. So let's say that now we've decided, yep, we've got all of these t-shirts loaded into the Linnworks platform. We need to get them listed to our eBay site so we can start generating some orders for those items. The way I'm going to do that is actually just right click into that column and I'm going to say, let's create a listing on eBay. But you'll notice I've got some options here. Right now, the system is telling me, hey, I've got templates to list in Germany, template to list in eBay in Spain, a template to list in eBay in the UK, and a template to list in eBay in the US. These templates I've had to set up ahead of time. Depending on where I'm going to list this series of products, I'm going to choose the correct template. Now, those templates are really important because those templates define of the data that we've loaded into Linnworks, which of those data points are appropriate for that specific category on that specific marketplace. So we need to take care to manage those templates correctly. So what I'm going to do is actually come into my configurator section, and that's where we store, configurator is where we store marketplace specific templates. So I've got an eBay configurator here where all of my eBay templates are held. Let's open that up, and there is all of my different templates for eBay. You'll notice I'm only operating in the clothing category on eBay, and that's just because in my demonstration site, I'm operating as an apparel vendor, right? That's all I sell is clothes. So I'm working in the clothing category here, but I list in 3 different regions. So I have 3 different templates specifically to utilize here. So you can see that my main channel connected for these templates is going to be Germany, Spain, UK, and US. I've got my returns set up correctly in eBay. Payment's going to be utilized PayPal. I've got shipping templates set up for those as well. And now we get into categories and specifications. Specifications is where we are going to match marketplace specific attribute requirements. That's what we're seeing here to the extended properties that I have holding data in my Linnworks environment. So the system is asking for the attribute of brand. Well, I happen to have brand in my extended properties. That's the value I'm going to use there. Color, same thing. I've got color in extended properties, but I spell it differently. I call it color because Linnworks originated in the UK, and that's just how we roll. That's perfectly fine. I've matched department to department in my extended properties, size to size, and I actually have not yet finished mapping style, type, and insect repellent treatment there. I need to map those values because those are required. Those are the last 3 I need to map. And then I've got a ton of other different attributes that eBay supports that I can map if I wish to extended properties in my Linnworks platform. So I need to go through the exercise of completing this template and matching those marketplace specific requirements to the extended properties and their values that I have in Linnworks. Our onboarding team is going to show you how to build these templates. We're going to make sure you're very comfortable building and maintaining and managing these templates before we let you off on your own. So you're going to have extensive training for your marketplaces and your categories on how to build and maintain these templates before we let you exit onboarding. So you guys are going to have a good idea of how this works. So I've created these different templates, or in the process of creating, I should say, these different templates. Let's just imagine for a moment that I've finished those up. They're all good to go. They're ready to rock and roll. I've had my onboarding team verify, yep, those work. I've done some testing. I've done, a test here and there to make sure that, yep, it pushes up and it looks the way I want it to on my Shopify site or on my eBay site or wherever it is that they're going. So we validated those templates work. Now we can come back into the inventory dashboard here. I've got 18 different t-shirts selected there. I'm going to push listings for all of those t-shirts to eBay right now. I'll do that again by right-clicking in that eBay column, selecting create listings on eBay, and selecting the template that I want to use there. There's the template. Linnworks has opened that template for me, and it's automatically dropped in all of the relevant data that that listing template needs to create listings on eBay for all of these different SKUs. It's actually gone a step further and done some error resolution for me as well. So we see this SKU, and this SKU actually don't have all of the data loaded quite yet, right? I'm missing some specifications. I don't have my category selected for those SKU items. They're highlighted in red. Linnworks is telling me, hey, I cannot list these SKUs. You don't have enough information loaded for these SKUs yet to be able to successfully complete a listing on eBay. Cool. Thanks, Linnworks. I appreciate your help with that. I'm going to delete those from this project. And we've got the rest of those SKUs that I selected there. We do have the ability to create listings because we have a complete data set. So with these products selected, I can tell the system says, yep, we've got all of the data that we need. We're ready to rock and roll. I could jump in and validate those images, select the images that I want to use for this particular listing if I wanted to. If I wanted to validate descriptions or the specific attributes that we're sending, I could click into these and actually view those specific values there if I wanted to. So you do have a place to spot check your data in this preview window essentially. But when you're ready to push these listings to eBay, you'll click this process button right here. And that says process the selected templates, which means it's going to push those listings up to that marketplace and be in actually publishing those listings to eBay. When I do that, when I push that process button, we will see the terms in progress showing up for each of these items as Linnworks is creating those listings. So for those products that we selected, or those SKUs that we selected, you'll see an indicator in this column that says in progress. Linnworks is actually creating those listings. As those listings are completed and checked, Linnworks says, yep, that listing is complete. That data is solid. It's on that marketplace and it's ready to rock and roll. It's ready to be viewed by customers, and it's ready to start creating orders and downloading orders from eBay. You will see listed in that column for those items. If there's an error, if something happens and Linnworks is not able to complete that listing for whatever reason that might be, you will see an indicator that says has error. And the system will give you an indication of what that error might be. So you can go back into the platform, make that correction, and relist that item. The end result, though, is that for these items that I have selected, I will see the actual listing status of those items on eBay. I can feel confident about that. Those items are listed, they're ready to rock and roll, and then I can move on to my next marketplace, call that Shopify, and I can do the exact same process. I can use a Shopify specific marketplace template to push my listings to Shopify in the exact same manner. Then I could do the same thing in Amazon UK. I could do the same thing in Amazon US. So I've got a workflow now to list a large number of different products to a large number of different marketplaces in a very efficient method, right? So no longer am I taking the time on each individual marketplace with each individual product to push those listings up one by one on each individual marketplace. Now I'm taking bulk actions. And in addition to being able to take bulk actions across my marketplaces to list many different products at the same time, I've got a dashboard where I can monitor those listings. Hey, what's the health of those listings? How is it doing? Which products do I have listed on which marketplaces, right? I have that visibility now on this dashboard. I can see where my products are listed, where they're not listed, and I can utilize that to determine, hey, what's next for me? As a listing manager within my organization, what am I working on next, right? I can look at my highest performing items, making sure that those listings are healthy and staying up to date across all of my different marketplaces. And then from there, I can go down through my top sellers and proceed through and make sure that everything is where it needs to be. It's listed where it needs to be. And I've got visibility onto that as well. So that's what it looks like to list in the Linnworks platform. Now, my apologies, guys. I would love to show you that in action. I'd love to take you then to the eBay store and say, hey, look, there's all my items after they've been listed there. But this demonstration environment is not necessarily connected that way to eBay. So it's hard for me to show that to you on this presentation. However, if it's really critical for you guys to see that workflow and then go and visit the marketplace itself and see that as well, I do have that set up on my own personal Shopify site where I've got that connected and I can walk you through that specific workflow. But I want to do that individually for you. I want to see exactly what products it is that you guys are listing. I want to hear about your specific pain points that you might be feeling when you're going through that listing process, or trouble that you're having specifically with listing, because I want to talk about those aspects specifically to your organization and how Linnworks could help you. So I know we can't necessarily get into that today, but I do want to get into that with you. So if that's something that you're struggling with, or is something that you're interested in learning more about, again, please reach out to me, contact Linnworks, and let's have that discussion. No obligation, guys. I'm not going to try to, crush you with a sale or anything like that. I just want to learn more about your organization, how Linnworks could potentially help, and see if there's a fit there for that as well. So would love to hear from you guys around that. Okay. After those products have been listed to that eBay marketplace, or all of my different marketplaces, I've gone through that process to list products across all of my different marketplaces. Then the orders start coming in. We start downloading orders and processing those orders. And that all happens in the order management piece of Linnworks. Again, not going to go super deep into this today because it is deep. There's a lot of functionality we have in the OMS and warehouse management as well. So we can complete a full fulfillment cycle for your organization, for your customers in the Linnworks environment. I'd love to show you some of that as well. But hopefully, guys, this has been relatively informative. You've got a chance to see how Linnworks connects to different marketplaces, how you map inventory, existing items on existing listings, how you bring product information into Linnworks to act as like a data lake, right? As a database to hold all of those product attributes, that product information, utilizing our template feature to build category specific, marketplace specific templates, and then using those templates to bulk push listings across your marketplace selections that you have there. So that's really the key component there of the listings module in Linnworks. That is an add-on feature, guys. I don't know if you're aware of that, but the core solution of Linnworks doesn't necessarily have listings attached to it. So if you don't need listings and you want to use Linnworks, you're not paying for it. If you do want to use listings with your Linnworks, that's an add-on module. It's relatively inexpensive there, and it gives you a ton of capability to be able to push those listings from a centralized solution while managing your inventory and managing your orders all under one roof. And that's really kind of the sweet spot for Linnworks there. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this presentation. Nick, I'll check with you very quickly, sir. Do we have any questions out there? Cool. No questions. No
Yep,
questions out
sorry,
there.
Vince, there.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question. We've pretty much run up to the line here, so unfortunately, we don't have any time left. But any questions that have come forward, we'll certainly answer them direct.
Yep, sounds great. Look out for emails there, guys. Let me go back over to my slideshow presentation. We'll go through Q&A. There is a QR code on screen there, guys. Feel free to take a picture of that or hit that with your camera on your phone. And that should give you a link. And then, Nick, if you would remind me, what's the takeaway here? We were going to send out some additional information for them. Sorry to
No,
put you
good
on the
question,
spot.
Vince. What we're going to be doing is just sending you the best of our recent demos.
That's
What
it.
I mean by that is, I know today you've talked about listings, but we just want to send you some of the demo links of some of the other key features of the Linnworks platform so you can
Perfect.
watch at your leisure.
I appreciate that, Nick. Thank you so much. So, guys, so if you're interested in OMS, if you're interested in IMS or some of the other functionality of the demonstrations that I've provided before, keep an eye out because we're going to send you links to those. Check out the ones that you're interested in, ignore the ones that you're not interested, and then please, by all means, reach out to me, reach out to Linnworks. We'd love to see how we can help you make your operations more efficient, help you spend more time on your business and less time in your business. I know some of you all have heard me say that before, but thank you all so much for joining me today. Happy Friday, everybody. Enjoy the weekend, and I hope to talk to you all soon. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.